Alrighty, welcome back to the J Center podcast. Owen Hill back as always with Jesse Burrell. Jesse, how sweep it is. I know it's terrible. I know it's a cliche, but when you sweep the opening series against the Athletics, you got to do it. How are we feeling? If it's anything but good, we're going to end the podcast right now.
No, fantastic. This is great. Not only is baseball back, but we started the way that we absolutely wanted to. Very few things went wrong. Yes, one or two things did. We'll touch on those in this episode, but a lot more things went right for the Toronto Blue Jays here. And it showed. You win 3 games. That is fantastic. We're on the winning side. More things must have gone well. And for the Blue Jays, it feels like we're continuing right off where we left after the run to the World Series last year. So thrilled, absolutely excited with how things have started so far.
Exactly. I just told you before we started this recording that I didn't want to do the show in the green room, but it felt like we took the end of 2025 and just kept it rolling on into 2026. And that's exactly how you wanted it to feel, right? If it felt any other way, it would have been disappointing because that 2025 team was magical. And hey, man, it looks like this 2026 team, back-to-back walk-off wins to start the season.
Yeah.
Like an MLB record in strikeouts for an opening series. Like the Toronto Blue Jays continue to do amazing things, man.
Yeah, and who thought the 3 months off or the 4 months off of the offseason, a long spring training would do anything? Nah, does not matter. We are go. I will say, Owen, my nervous system does not know the difference between like game 6, game 7 of the World Series and watching games 1, 2, and 3 of 162. Like I am locked in and I am sweating every single battle. That comeback in game 2 of this series had me feeling just like it was in the World Series all over again. So absolutely fantastic. And yeah, the magic is there. Like the Blue Jays don't come back from 6-2 unless it's the team that we had last year and the team that we have going forward this year. So yeah, magical.
Yeah, man. It feels like just everybody on the roster is going to get the job done when it's their turn to get the job done. Like there's not a player on the roster I don't trust to do their job. Maybe there's one guy in Brendon Little, and it only took until the second game of the series or the season for my dad to get a call from me in the middle of a baseball game, with me just absolutely losing my mind and furious. But it's a game that the Blue Jays ended up winning, and I looked a little bit dumb to him, and I had to eat my words a little bit. But it was overall just like, I'm not going to call it a perfect series. It's only up from here, hopefully, but it's the perfect way to start the season.
Oh, and we got to get a recording of your phone calls to your dad on this episode to see what in the world you're saying there about Brendon Little. But hey, I'm sure you're not alone with Jays fans around the world watching what happened with Brendon Little there. I'm sure we'll get into it as we go in this episode. I have thoughts and I know you have thoughts, but I'm sure you're not alone in the outrage there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not directed at Brendon Little. And actually, one of the things I wanted to get your take on, and I want you to take this question in the right way, is who on the Blue Jays don't you like? Who's your least favorite Blue Jay right now?
Oh God. What a question. I mean, I like them all, to be honest. Maybe Miles Straw, just because he's kind of boring. You know, defense isn't the most sexiest thing out there, but that's a hard question. I like them all, to be honest. Maybe Tommy Nance because he's old and I don't know.
Well, but that's the point, though, is like there's so many guys on this team that it's so easy to root for, and I feel like you have not been able to say that about a Blue Jays team in the past, where like there's not a guy like I'm rooting for to fail just a little bit. Like obviously, I'm cheering for the laundry over the guys wearing it, like 99 times out of 100. But this Blue Jays team, I feel like, has kind of like flipped that narrative, and there's so many guys that like have cemented themselves as just like absolute fan favorites, and it's hard for me to not fall in love with them right now. And I think these guys have just built up so much goodwill with like myself, obviously, and the fan base as a whole, like seeing the way that they were embraced during the opening ceremonies and the way that the fan base has embraced Kazuma Okamoto early on, and the way they've embraced Dylan Cease and Tyler Rogers. It feels like just the amount of positive momentum built up by the Blue Jays and their players. It's just been so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's not only happening around the city of Toronto, it's happening all around Canada. Oh, and I might be a little biased because I look for it, but the amount of Blue Jays jerseys and hats I've seen on the streets, I live like a 3-hour drive from Toronto, and I'm still seeing them everywhere all over my town. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous how much this, and specifically this Blue Jays team, has brought everyone together. And through the first 3 games so far, we're seeing that carry over, and it's unbelievable. It's different than I think I've ever felt watching any other sports team in my life.
Yeah, you just genuinely like believe that they're going to win every time they play. And even on opening night, like you said, it felt like playoff baseball, and I feel the exact same way. Like especially in that extra inning game, the game two, where they came back and won, and they were in the middle of the comeback. That got the juices flowing. But I'll be honest, like in game one, it was probably the calmest I've ever been in like a ninth inning, like tie game where Jays have a chance to win it. Like calm, like just trusting that Andres Jimenez is going to come through with the walk-off hit. And of course he does, because it's March and Andres Jimenez is Barry Bonds in March, right?
Yes. Three home runs last March or something like that? Maybe 4? I know he had a lot.
Yeah, something silly last March, and then he's like hitting like 500 something, probably I think even better. And he went hitless today, and he's still up there. So like Andres Jimenez, and looks so good at shortstop too. I think Andres Jimenez might be in for a really big year.
Okay, let's get into that a little bit with Andres Jimenez, because there are so many talking points we could go into there. 2-run triple in game one, driving in the first 2 RBIs. He had the walk-off single up the middle. I noticed a couple things from Andres Jimenez too. One, he had a big stolen base in game 2 of that series to move up to second base in extra innings. The Blue Jays' first stolen base of the season, might I add. He also swung the bat 86.4 miles per hour, which is the hardest Andres Jimenez has ever swung a bat since they started recording this. So that caught my attention as well from Andres Jimenez, on top of the fact that coming in the game today, he was baseball's leader in batting average, on base percentage, win probability added. You named the stat, Andres Jimenez was up there. So absolutely fantastic from Andres Jimenez, plus the defense, dude. Did you see that double play he started? I think it was in game 2.
Yeah,
of the
in
series
game
here.
2, like on the backhand, spun around, right to Ernie Clement, hit him in the chest. Ernie with the smooth turn in a huge spot. Like I'm telling you, like Bo Bichette on his backhand. I don't know if you get one out in that situation.
And it's amazing how that defense can just play, right? You make that one good play, your pitcher's out of a jam, the momentum is swing back into your favor. Like you see it more in real life watching the game than you would just on the box score or on the spreadsheet. So, and we're seeing that quite early here from Andres Jimenez. And I think the move coming back to shortstop could mean some very good things for his season going forward.
Yeah, I'm not sure in the long run he actually grades out as an elite shortstop, like up with the Bobby Witts and whatever. But I think he'll be a very good one. And he'll obviously, the gap between him and Bo Bichette will be quite large. So I think that's honestly, I've seen enough from Andres Jimenez right now to like be like, yeah, 5.5 WAR season incoming here. Like he's hitting 545 with 11, like through 11 at bats. He's got 6 hits, including that triple. So yeah, huge start for him. And what else could you ask for?
Yeah, I'll take the under on the 5 WAR or whatnot from Andres Jimenez after the only 3 games. Remember, like you said, he started out hot last year, but it is a positive going forward. And the Blue Jays are just simply better with him at shortstop. And he is the best defensive Blue Jay shortstop since who? Since blank.
Oh my goodness. Like, well, it's been Bo Bichette for like 6 years, right?
So Tulo, maybe? Tulo was really good.
But Tulo was old when he was there. Like,
sure.
I don't. Yeah, so like, who, like Jose Reyes? Like, I'd probably take Andres Jimenez.
Yeah, like, he wasn't that good defensively. Like, do you go back to like John McDonald when he was just a glove only guy back here? Like, you're going way back in the time machine.
When John McDonald was around, I was like 6 years old. Like,
yeah, there you go. So that's how long it's been.
Yeah.
So defense up the middle, absolutely. Andres Jimenez gets a check mark from both of us.
Yeah, Andres Jimenez 6.1 WAR in 2022. So I think it's doable. The proof of concept is there. Just so you know.
All right, I love it. I would love to see it if it were to happen. Let's go on to another player that impressed us, Owen. And I guess we can do this like you take one, I'll take one. Want to go that way?
Yeah, you just want to like go through the roster because everybody contributed just a little bit. I think the opening day starter, probably where we should have started, Kevin Gausman, like 11 punch outs, an opening day record for the Blue Jays. Vintage, like I think, that splitter that he featured on opening day was as good as the splitter was all last year. I wish I had the whiff numbers up right now, but I'm going to talk my way through it and try and find them. Like he was phenomenal. He got a ton of whiffs on the splitter. And the fastball velo looked really good. Came off a really, really good spring training and picked up right where he left off. Hopefully, like obviously with Kevin Gausman, it's going to be a volume thing. We're going to see how long he can carry like his fitness into the season and if that arm holds up. Right. So it's a marathon, not a sprint, especially, well, obviously in baseball, but for starting pitchers, especially in a guy like Kevin Gausman. But could not have asked for a better start to the race.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. You knew he was locked into when he struck out the side to begin that game.
Yeah.
And especially with a big battle with Nick Kurtz too, to get that first one. And then he gets the next three. It's like, oh man, like, yeah, this is the Kevin Gausman I remember. What was it? One hit, which was very much impressed me with Kevin Gausman there too. It's that type of dominance we haven't really seen. We've seen it in spurts, and I guess we saw it in the second half last year, but like to go out and just know, like, no, this is Gausman's game. You got it. I think Owen, he might have just been mad that he hadn't had an opening day start for the Toronto Blue Jays before. And he wanted to prove John Schneider wrong, be like, no, I deserve this the whole time. And here you go. And this is why. And fantastic. Yeah. I did not see that coming from Kevin Gausman. So it was very nice to see in the first game of the season. Set the tone.
I pulled up the numbers on the splitter. 10 whiffs on 19 swings. I don't know how many times he had that kind of percentage last year, but I'm telling you, it was not that many. He brought his A splitter to the dance on opening day. It was fun to watch. It was vintage Kevin Gausman.
Yeah, and the location was what impressed me the most here. In terms of location plus, after, so far in the season, before the game stayed 2 games, he's top 15 in all of baseball in being able to locate. So Kevin Gausman with basically the 2-pitch mix, fastball and splitter, he's been very good. He did throw one changeup in his start today, Owen, and I wanted to put that up. At least he said it was a changeup. Savant might have classified as a splitter, but that was the pitch he gave up for the home run. So that was the only one he said he threw was a changeup, and it left the yard. So he's going to make the adjustment on there. So interesting note from Kevin Gausman, as that's what he was working on in the spring.
Yeah, Savant did not pick up a changeup from Kevin Gausman. Yeah. So, hey, maybe it sucked. If you want to talk changeups, though, Dylan Cease.
Yeah, let's talk about him.
Yeah, can we talk Dylan Cease? Dylan Cease, like Kevin Gausman, I was like, if Dylan Cease just repeats that, like, you'll take that, right? What a first impression. And I'm like a big believer in first impressions matter. This is a guy coming off a bad season, like a ERA worse than 4.5 last year. And like, I don't know how we had any question marks because he came out and set a Blue Jays debut strikeout record with 12.
Fantastic.
And this is a guy that's 2 pitches. Like last year, Dylan Cease, let me pull it up, but he was fastball slider. Like literally they were in like both those percentages were in the 40s. And he featured 6 pitches, threw them at least 7 times. In 2025, 42% four-seamers, 41% sliders. 8% curveballs was his next highest pitch percentage. He featured 6 pitches in that start, including a changeup, which he got 3 whiffs on 3 swings on. Like, what a start. Featured everything. The location was good, and the stuff looked nasty. The A's were befuddled.
Yeah. Not only was the pitch mix excellent, he actually really changed up deliberately too. Last year, he threw his 4-seam fastball almost 40% of the time to right-handed hitters. This time it was down to 19%. He started using that sinker a lot more to right-handed hitters and had tons of success with it. He gave up a hard hit single in the first to Tyler Soderstrom. That was it. That was the only hard hit ball he allowed the whole start. Absolutely phenomenal. And you want to talk stuff, pure stuff. Owen, he hit 100 miles per hour on the fastball. Only one other Blue Jay has hit 100 miles per hour. And I don't know if Roger Clemens did it, so it doesn't count him. Maybe he did it. But can you name the only other Blue Jay starter who had ever done that?
Oh, starter.
Yes, Blue Jay
Robbie
starter.
Ray never did it. Robbie Ray threw hard.
Robbie Ray never got to 100.
Righty?
Righty. Ended up closing for a while after he left the Blue Jays.
Closing after...
Yeah.
Oh,
think about it. Think about it. We'll come back to you at the end.
Okay. We'll come back to it. I don't know. Wow. Yeah, I had one more note on Cease and your trivia, but got me lost. So maybe we can move on.
I got some stuff on Cease then too before we get in there. Struck out 7 in a row at one point, tying a Blue Jays record. And I was going to tell you to name who he tied. I won't. It was Alek Manoah who struck out 7 in a row in 2021. But you want to talk about the pure stuff as well. You've talked about what is it, the vertical approach angle or the vertical break in his 4-seam fastball. Yeah. IVB better in this start than it ever was at all in his starts in San Diego. So not only was he throwing a little bit harder, he was getting less drop on that 4-seam fastball, which is absolutely phenomenal. So if you're Pete Walker and the Blue Jays pitching factory, you've got to love the early returns you're getting on Dylan Cease here.
Yeah. So I remember the thing I wanted to say, the way he was using his sinker. He talked about before that he always loved doing that Michael King sinker where he'd start it at a lefty's hip and bring it back over the plate inside for a little back door. I liked the way that he was using it in his start on Saturday when he would start it away from a lefty, so like on his arm side of the plate, and then let
Okay.
it tail away and then get some weak contact off the end of the bat. Like he didn't get a whiff on it, but he did not give up any hard contact on it either. And I think that is a good way for him to use it. I think let him use the defense behind him. It's one of the biggest strengths of the team. And if he can get some soft contact and mix in 12 strikeouts while he's there, like you're talking like Cy Young and like, oh my God, putting the cart before the horse, like one start, relax. But that's what you're talking about if that's what he's doing.
If we can't get excited about one start, Owen, what can we do here?
Well, what do you want me to do, man? The Jays just swept the open season for the third time in franchise history. One of the times was 1992. Like,
yeah,
let's
and the other time 1996. So it's been a long time since they've done that. Yes, good stuff. And I think you mentioned the defense. Davis Schneider made a hell of a catch in left field very early in that game. Dylan Cease loved it. And I think that helped him kind of settle in and be like, okay, I'm not playing in San Diego anymore. I've got good defenders here. I can let loose and let go. Before we move on from Dylan Cease, the answer to that was Brandon Morrow, who touched 100, I think in 2010, 2011, something like that. So
that's a long time ago to be touching 100.
Long time ago. Yes. And Dylan Cease is going to do that several times this season.
Yeah. Dylan Cease, 24 swings and misses. That's my last thing. 24 whiffs. So sick. Come on.
Fantastic. What a stud. Glad he's here. 6 more years. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Who's next? Give me a name.
I want to talk Kazuma Okamoto here, Owen, and what a debut. He got his first ever hit in the opener. I really liked how he was able to track the slider all the way across the zone, kind of threw it in his hands, still able to put barrel on the baseball to get that first major league hit. He walked a couple times as well. He had a home run in the game today, which was very nice. One of only 2 Blue Jays to have a hit in all 3 games, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. being the other one. Very much like to see that. And an equal number of walks to strikeouts. So early returns are very high on Kazuma Okamoto. Plus, he's played quite good defense as well. So 2 thumbs up from me from what I've seen from Okamoto so far.
Yeah. Okay. So like I just said, first impressions really matter. I think, especially like in a city like Toronto, where like people are paying attention right now, like what they see in this opening weekend and in this next couple series, that narrative is going to last for a while. And I think Kazuma Okamoto is lucky he had some good results because there are some red flags that are popping up. And obviously the home run and like the good results, that's what matters. And I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum on Kazuma Okamoto. The defense was awesome, much better than I expected at third base. I felt very confident in him. I will say he's in tiny sample size, and this doesn't even include today's game, but just a 50% zone contact against fastballs. Luis Severino was blowing heaters by him. And like Luis Severino's got a good fastball, but he's not like 100 miles an hour, not above that. Like he's high 90s. And Okamoto like looked like he had no chance against his heater. Okay, obviously hit a fastball for a homer at the bottom of the zone the other way. When you hit a heater 420 the other way over the right field fence, like it was a no doubter. It was a bomb. It was sick. Okay, like I'm not even giving a take here. But I'm just saying that's a red flag for me, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on how he fares against Velo.
For what it's worth, today he only saw 1 four-seam fastball from what it looks like, and no, we saw 2, and he missed on one of them. So okay, yeah, you could be right. The other one though, he hit 420 feet. So looks okay. Worth noticing, worth paying attention to, I suppose. But look, if the overall results, he faced some good velocity from those 2 Oakland pitchers and did handle them quite well. Hit cleanup too in game 2 of this series too. So he's got some trust from John Schneider already. I'm overall liking quite often what I saw from Kazuma Okamoto. Did you see obviously if you're watching on YouTube, we have him in the home run jacket here. Apparently he really loves the home run jacket. He said he was watching games in Japan before here and always wanted to feel what it was like to wear the home run jacket. He said it was such an awesome feeling, which it's a jacket as far as I'm concerned, but to Okamoto, he always wanted to wear it and he got to do that today. So thumbs up to him.
Yeah. Shout out Kazuma Okamoto. I'm a big fan. Like I really did like what I saw from him. I think he looks the part. I think he looks confident. I think he fits in well. I think the guys really like him. Like it's one thing I like to watch. Like whenever there's home runs, I like to watch the replays and see like how are the guys on the bench reacting. Like I just like it helps me put my finger on the pulse of the team a little bit. I feel like, and it's very anecdotal. But seeing Vlad and Springer up and happy for him, and him and Vlad have that little like high five, bow, handshake going on. I like to see that kind of stuff, and I think For a team that talked a lot about chemistry in its baseball, like chemistry shouldn't be real, but it clearly was for the 2025 Blue Jays. I think seeing that carry over a little bit and seeing Kazuma Okamoto fit in and actually put the jacket all the way on his shoulder, something Bo Bichette refused to do. Like, and that's such like a boomer take that I just had, but seeing him do that,
wow,
it felt good.
Yeah, Bo's catching a lot of strays in this episode, and spoiler, it won't be the last one he catches for this episode here as well. But good stuff from Kazuma Okamoto. Oh, and there's so many good stories we could have talked about here. Do you want to just fire through them real quick? We don't have to spend too much time on them.
Yeah, Eric Lauer, 9 punch-outs, made me feel a lot better about the starting rotation. The fact that he showed up, looked really good. Like, Trey Savage, take your time. Shane Bieber, take your time. Jose Barrios, take your time. Obviously, Cody Ponce tomorrow, that's going to be another, like, really big box to check and how we feel about the starting rotation. But Eric Lauer looked really, really good today. And, this is an A's team that was supposed to, like, and obviously one series, but, like, they're talked about as a top 5 offense this year. And the Jays kind of mowed them down.
So I'm wondering how much of the strikeouts was Blue Jays pitching versus bad Oakland hitting in this series. But, 17 whiffs for Eric Lauer today, 12 of them on his four-seam fastball, which he's not really known for. So he got 9 strikeouts, which is his most since he was starting with Milwaukee. So that is very good. So I'm curious to see how that is going forward. Then you look at the schedule and you see the Colorado Rockies coming up next, and they're likely going to strike out a bunch too. So maybe we won't really get our answer until the Dodgers come into town in 2 weeks. So we will see. But yeah, honestly, if that was a matchup they could exploit, the Blue Jays did that. So you have to give them credit for that.
Yeah, man. Well, and I think the A's, are going to surprise a lot of people who saw this series. I think the A's are better than they displayed. And I think looking back at the end of the year, you're going to look at this series and be like, wow, like swept the A's. That's a good start. And I think thinking broadly, you built yourself a little bit of a cushion because the next 2 series, Rockies and White Sox, like you mentioned, now you're not looking at Rockies and being like, we need a sweep here. And you're not looking at the White Sox like, we need a sweep here. Obviously, depending on how the Rocky series goes. But if you take 2 out of 3 in both of those series, you feel pretty good, especially knowing how you just handled the A's.
Yeah, we're looking a little ahead, but 7-2 if you include the White Sox series. If you can win 2 out of 3 in both of these, you finish this 9-game trip 7-2. You will take that every single time.
Oh my God,
Turning things back to this team, just a couple more things that caught my attention. Miles Straw had a base hit that was 107.1 miles per hour off the bat. He hadn't hit a baseball that hard since 2021, so I noticed that from Miles Straw. George Springer today hit a big home run. He also had a swing that was 86.8 miles per hour. Owen, it was the second hardest swing he has had over the past 2 seasons. So phenomenal for Miles Straw. And Alejandro Kirk hadn't been hitting a ton, but he got a huge home run in the 9th inning in the game here today. So I wanted to mention that, as those 3 hitters were all things I liked from the Blue Jays.
Yeah, good stuff on all those. George had some really bad at bats. I think the swing decisions have been pretty poor for George Springer in the
Springer. Aptly fitting here. Yes.
I think they've been pretty poor, and I think the results have been pretty bad. But the leadoff home run and seeing he's had, you mentioned the one swing like 80 something miles an hour, high 80s, and he's had a lot of pretty fast swings with the lightning bolt beside them on Baseball Savant. I'm not really concerned about what I've seen from him, and good for him. That 64th career leadoff home run, pretty cool. I think he's still 16 away from tying Ricky, or 17 or something like that. It's out of reach, but he's inching closer day by day. I wanted to talk Tyler Rogers. He's got a ground ball percentage of 100 when hitters, and that's 2 innings, but when hitters have put the ball in play against him, it has been on the ground. He's got a 78.8 mile an hour average exit velocity against him. He was 98th percentile last year with 85.8. So really, really good stuff. Do you feel so comfortable when he's in the game?
I have so many fun things on Tyler Rogers. First, I didn't really know what to expect, right? Because it's different. We haven't really seen a pitcher like him in Blue Jays history before, really. So I didn't really know what to expect. But seeing the results through 2 games, Owen, it's starting to be like, how is anybody in the world ever going to hit this guy? You brought in some of your stats, and on the whole, he faced 7 batters. He did walk 1, struck out 2, got weak contact on the other ones. The hardest one was a 92 mile per hour chopper to Ernie Clement that he threw out, no problem. And I have some fun stats. Keep in mind, 2 games in, very small sample size already. but his average launch angle against is negative 43.5. So these people are just beating it into the ground. It is the second lowest in all of baseball. And if you look at stuff plus numbers across baseball through 2 games before the games today, he is also second best in all of baseball in stuff plus is Tyler Rogers. So honestly, could not be any better of a start for him for his Blue Jays career.
I read something that Tyler Rogers gets like ridiculous stuff plus numbers because there's literally no precedent for what it is. So take those with a little bit of a grain of salt.
Yes.
And obviously the sample size is like non-existent. So we're taking all of the things in this episode with a grain of salt. But at the same time, like, yeah, Tyler Rogers, I like in the confidence rankings, where is he right now in the bullpen for you?
It's got to be high. 1, 2. I felt good about him coming in that when that game got close. I didn't feel so great about some of our other options. So probably number 1, I'd say so far.
Yeah, Tyler Rogers, so cool. So funny that he's doing what he's doing. I think he's just fun to watch, to be honest.
Yes, let's transition a little bit more to the rest of the bullpen now. And there was a good story here in Spencer Miles, which we can touch on. There was some sour ones in Jeff Hoffman and Brendon Little. I have some notes on Louis Varland as well. Owen, where should we go first here?
Yeah, okay. So Jeff Hoffman, I think we got to have the conversation. And I don't think it's as dire as you think. I think just like the whole saga with him has been frustrating, I think is just the way to put it. And it kind of felt like we were replaying Game 7 for a minute there on opening day. Jeff Hoffman comes in to protect a one-run lead. We're like, yeah, we're going to make it right. And he immediately makes it wrong, gives up his like patented solo home run on a good pitch. And blows a save, and then the Jays ended up winning the game in the bottom of the ninth. Probably what should have happened in Game 7.
Yes.
Anyways,
yes.
Jeff Hoffman, like it's just frustrating to watch, and like the Ross Atkins quote of he's the best part about him is he's not married to being the closer might actually be the best part about him. Like because I think if we're talking like playoff aspirations and more than that aspirations, I think Jeff Hoffman could be part of the bullpen, but I don't want him to be the closer.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Jeff Hoffman that gets on a lot of people's minds is the last time we saw Jeff Hoffman, he was giving up that big home run, like you said, and then we get into the season, and first game of the season, it's the exact same thing all over again. Having a closer with a home run issue is wild, and it's weird. He has such nasty stuff. We saw it. The one guy he didn't give up a home run to, he struck out four batters in an inning, had a K per 9 of 36 at one point, which is absolutely ridiculous. But he does give up the home run. And it's weird for a guy who can throw so good and has such good stuff that when they do hit him, it just goes. Like I've never seen that type of thing before. My baseball brain tells me that is going to regress back to normal, but it didn't all last year. And through one game, 2 games now because he pitched today, hasn't happened yet. So that's interesting. I'm still very much a believer in Jeff Hoffman, but I feel like I'm slowly becoming in the minority there.
I think so. I'm still a believer too. Like I will never hold singular appearances against a guy, even if it's in Game 7 of the World Series with a chance to put rings on fingers. I just won't do it. Like it's one appearance. It's baseball, man. Anything can happen. Like Shea Langeliers got really, really hot for 2 games and he had 3 home runs in them and absolutely torched the Jays, right? Like maybe that had more to do with Langeliers than it did Hoffman. Like 98.1 at the top of the zone. Like if Langeliers doesn't swing, like there's a good chance it gets called a ball. Like it was that close. Like he didn't miss his spot. Like, and it was a good pitch and a better swing. And I don't know why it happens to Hoffman so much, but it happens too much. And I am ready for it to normalize. And I don't want to be like I hate people that are just like hating on closers because the same people that hated Jordan Romano hate Jeff Hoffman.
Yeah.
And the same people that hated Ken Giles while he was like picking up like 27 straight saves without blowing one. Like it's the same conversation, and it's getting frustrating at this point because I want to stand up for Hoffman and he's making it hard to stand up for him.
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm still a believer. I will plant my flag in that ground that I'm still a guy that Jeff Hoffman is, because you just know if we trade him or he goes somewhere else, he's going to go back to that guy he was in the Phillies, where he's one of the best relievers in baseball. And I'd rather him do that wearing our jersey than somebody else's. You talked a bit there about Shea Langoliers hitting that big home run off Jeff Hoffman. I'm convinced watching the series he's winning AL MVP, and you can't convince me otherwise. Him or Chase DeLauder, I suppose. But he also got a home run off Brendon Little, and Brendon Little gave up the grand slam. And you talk about the pitch he hit that was up off Jeff Hoffman, that was 98. The grand slam Brendon Little gave up was low. It was down below the zone. It would have been called a ball, and Shea Langoliers still got him. We talked about Jeff Hoffman having issues from last year creeping into this season. Brendon Little, more of the same. After Owen, both you and I were talking up Brendon Little a little bit coming out of spring training. So what were your thoughts on seeing this here after his blow up in the first game?
I feel like I just watched like my Bitcoin stock just like crash in front of my eyes because I had purchased all of the Brendon Little stock. He was throwing 98 with the four-seamer, and he was a completely different guy. Looked like he had a bunch of confidence, and like, not to do the body language thing, but he looks scared on the mound. He looks like he does not. He looks like there is anywhere else in the world he would rather be than pitching like against the Oakland Athletics at the Rogers Center. Like he just looks like he doesn't have it, and he should look like he has it because he's got some of the nastiest stuff I've ever seen. And it's just like he's getting 3-0 to lefties, and like he's not getting the lefties out, and then he's forced to pitch to the righties, and he's loading the bases, and it's just, again, frustrating. And like, nobody ever tell me spring training matters again, because it clearly does not. It was awful from him. Awful.
Yeah, I wonder if Little can get in with a sports psychologist or something, because it does seem more mental than anything else, right? And when the pressure is not on, when he's just playing baseball, he seems to be really good. So I wonder if there's something there. And two, if you really break down his appearance here, Owen, he gave up a very weak infield chopper that Little himself actually made quite a good play to get over to, almost got the guy out at first. The big mistake you could say is, okay, he walked Nick Kurtz, but the Blue Jays were kind of pitching around Nick Kurtz all game, especially in game 2. I think he walked 3 times. So there's that. And then, like I said,
sorry, not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But if I'm Brendon Little, my like one thing I should be really, really good at, like, he is like the Ohtani guy. He's the Juan Soto guy.
Sure.
Who's the best left-handed hitter in baseball. He's the Nick Kurtz guy. Like if Big Poppy or Barry Bonds was still around, guess who's coming in to face him on the Toronto Blue Jays right now? It's Brendon Little. Like, that is his role. He's got to be able to get those guys out. That is his one thing that he actually absolutely needs to be able to do.
Yes, and that walk to Nick Kurtz, I agree with you, was the biggest moments of that at bat I had found there. And then, like I said, the grand slam, it looks bad, but it was on a pitch well out of the zone. Shea Langoliers just is magic for this weekend or something. So I'm with you on that there. For what it's worth, we didn't see a single first pitch strike from Brendon Little, so that needs to change. He needs to start doing that a little bit more too. But I think overall, the outing and the 54 ERA or whatever is standing at the negative 0.3 WAR he's currently sitting at on the season. I think he did pitch a little bit better than it showed. The stuff plus was still nasty for what it's worth. So I like to think things are coming, but he's got to get that in his headspace going forward.
Oh, that was far from the last opportunity for Brendon Little. I think he can still have a very good season. Like I said, I'm never going to skewer a guy for one performance, especially a reliever. Like a one inning, it's okay. But just get your lefties out, Brendon. Like that's your one job. Just do that, and then we can talk about how nasty you are and how many whiffs you're getting and your chase percentage, and like, just get the lefties out. Like, step one. Okay, back to basics.
It's the classic example. If he's a good pitcher, why doesn't he pitch good? Which is what's happening right now. For what it's worth, he was warming up in the bullpen in game 1. If that game were to go to the 10th inning, it would have been Brendon Little going into that game. So take that for what it's worth. I don't mind it, because like, you need Brendon Little if you're going to do what you did last year. He was a huge part of the team last year. I think he's still going to be good. It's not over, but it's just like, again, it was like the Jeff Hoffman conversation, like a chance to make right for last year. Last time we saw Brendon Little, he's giving up 18th inning home runs to Freddie Freeman. He's like the last guy on the team John Schneider was willing to use. Like, Mason Fluharty passed him in like bullpen trust rankings for John Schneider last year in the playoffs. Yes, and I think it won't take long before that happens in this season as well. Speaking of the bullpen and surprises from it, we have to talk Spencer Miles here, Owen. like absolutely fantastic with what he did there. What a debut. He comes. Okay. So when Spencer Miles made this team, we kind of talked about it, about how like, okay, it's kind of weird for the Blue Jays to carry this Rule 5 guy. The plan was to kind of get him in low leverage situations. It couldn't get more high leverage situation, coming in with the zombie runner on base, and able to get out of that inning, including a strikeout of Max Muncy to get out of it. I liked what I saw from Spencer Miles here. What were your thoughts on his debut?
Well, at first I was absolutely gutted for the kid because the Jays are in the midst of this awesome comeback, this awesome game, and he's got to come into this situation where he's like almost for sure like making his big league debut. He's got 14 innings of professional baseball under his belt, and he's coming to this situation where he's almost for sure going to give up at least one run and put his team in a tough spot. And what does he do? He immediately gets a comebacker, like ice cold, ice in his veins, like runs the runner down at second, gets the lead
great
runner.
Play, by the way. Great awesome play, great baseball IQ, great instincts, yes.
Like did a great job of like sprinting at the runner, chasing him back to second, getting the ball in the hands of Andres Gimenez, because who else on the Blue Jays would you want the ball in the hands of in a pickle, a rundown situation? And Jays execute flawlessly, get the guy. He picks up his first big league strikeout and gets a pop-up, and all of a sudden the Jays have a chance to win the game in the bottom half, and he picks up his first big league win, and just awesome for the kid. And like I said 100 times already, first impressions matter. And and not only were the results good, the stuff was good, the poise was good. You could tell he's young, like even in like the post-game interviews and stuff, like he looked like maybe lights were a little bit bright, but like he got the job done. So good for him, man. I think it's there with him.
His family was there too. Said his family came down to watch him play, so he was very excited about that. I just loved how good of a time he was having. I don't think it's going to be this good all season for Spencer Miles. Did throw 50% sliders, so he really leaned on that slider in this matchup. I had a note up here somewhere, see if I can find it, but his sinker had a nasty stuff plus. I was going through the stuff plus leaderboards before this episode here, and Spencer Miles, I think it was the sinker, looked really, really, really good grading out on that. So maybe if he can fine tune that and find some use for that, he could actually be very effective. But that's step one. And I bet you if he succeeds again in his next challenge, he might start to see more higher leverage going forward.
Yeah, Spencer Miles, like, and I feel bad. Like on the last episode, I kind of said like, carry him until he gets hurt because he's probably going to get hurt at one time, and then he's at least going to stay in your organization. But he looks like he's got something to contribute. And this is a guy that actually, like in spring training, they were pushing multiple innings pretty much every time he pitched. So, like, I think there's something there with him, and it's something that we haven't talked about yet. It's not a concern as of yet. Starters, obviously, first time through, are only going to go to like 90 pitches. They're not going to get deep in like the 6th and 7th, 8th inning. But the starters, like Kevin Gausman, got through 6. Cease only 5 1/3. Eric Lauer only got through, was it 5 2/3 or 5 1/3? Something along those lines. Like the bullpen is early on very heavily worked. You went to extra innings. I get it. But you're going to need some length from some relievers. And there's not a long man down there right now.
Correct. Yes. That's why I thought it was important for Eric Lauer to pitch how he did today. Game 3 of the season, and we're already kind of hammering for a long start out of our pitcher to save the bullpen. But that's baseball, Susan, and that's how it goes. So good stuff there. Any more thoughts on the bullpen, or should we turn things back to the offense here?
We can turn it back to the offense. Spencer Miles, last thing I'll say, that sinker averaged 97.8. Like that's a
fantastic,
filthy sinker, dude. That's good. His 2 fastballs, like the 4-seamer, averaged 98 too. Like obviously small sample size, 1 inning, but obviously juiced up with the adrenaline pumping for him. But the fact that he was able to get that in the zone and make good pitches with it, I think there's something there. And I see what the Jays saw when they kept him on the roster.
Yeah, and who knows, if he can stay healthy and get out there is a chance he can really contribute for this team, kind of like Roberto Osuna, Miguel Castro did on their very rookie seasons in like, what, 2015, 2016 it was? Yeah. So that was very good. While we're on the bullpen, I guess, one thought, Louis Varland, I had a quick note on him. He has allowed a lot of base runners so far this season. So I just want to, 2 sample size, yes, but he's got a whip of 2 right now. So he's allowed 2 base runners in both of his appearances so far. He's just kind of got lucky that he's induced a double play ball twice to get out of the inning. So I'm watching that. I'm monitoring that from Louis Varland. Stuff plus still looks amazing. The stuff still looks phenomenal. So there's that as well. But just noticing that for Louis Varland going forward.
Yeah, looking good to me. Like Louis Varland, obviously, I think with him, I'm more worried about the results than most relievers. Like I feel like I'm very good at looking at process over results a lot of times, like in baseball in general. Louis Varland's a guy, like I know the process is very, very good with him. I'm worried about the results and once he gets done. And like, he's a guy that I trust. Like when runners get on, he knows how to pitch and try and get a ground ball and get a double play ball. Like he is actively trying to do that. He's not one of those relievers where he's just like, well, this is what I got. Let's see what you can do with it. Like he's a pitcher, and that's what he's doing. And so far the results have been fine. So
yeah, I think I'm a bit more worried, but I might be in the minority there on Louis Varland. So just paying attention to that going forward. Let's talk some more offense, Owen. Few hitters we haven't touched on yet. And
did we do Jesus Sanchez yet?
No, and that's where I want to go here next is Jesús Sánchez. Yes.
Okay, so first Blue Jays home run today, hit a 96.4 mile an hour fastball. His hardest pitch he's hit a home run against, I believe, or at least
really? Wow.
would have been last year. Something along those lines. That one's not true, so somebody verify that. But yeah, good to see. Dead central. I think he's kind of checked boxes early on.
Yeah, not only that, he had a massive line drive too that was smeared by the first baseman in the game before. That was also smoked. You can see the power. I really like his swing. It reminds me a lot of Yordan Alvarez, just how he is in the box and like how the danger is up there. Like I really like this from Jesús Sánchez. He impressed me a lot. Got that dinger. He pimped that home run, dead center field. Honestly, going up the line, he was putting on the jacket with pride and stuff too. Like it was absolutely phenomenal. He has some swagger to him that will fit right in with this Blue Jays team, some attitude. And I love that from Jesús Sánchez. Had him up in the 2-hole as well. And you have a note here about guys in the 2-hole. And we've seen 3 different batters, I believe, in the 2-hole in 3 different games so far. So what do you like about that, Owen?
Well, I think the guy who is going to be hitting in the 2-hole in the playoffs, this is a little bit of a hot take. I don't think he's on the roster right now. I think there might be I think it's a hole. I think Davis Schneider, maybe not the guy. I bet you we're going to see Ernie Clement there. I bet you we're going to see Kazuma Okamoto there. I bet you we've not seen the last of Nathan Lucas there. And frankly, I thought Nathan Lucas looked really bad there, like really bad at bats in front of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., just not nearly patient enough to do what he needs to do. Like he's swinging, like he grounded out in a 3-2 count and like was fouling off multiple pitches. Never saw a pitch in the zone and he made an out. Like it's just not good enough, not what you need. And like I wouldn't be opposed to trying Addison Barger there, who looks like he's got a pretty good approach so far. Hasn't picked up a hit so far this season, obviously very early on, but bases loaded walk today. Like I've been impressed with the Barger at bats and how patient he's been in making pitchers come to him. So like that's something I want to see in the 2-hole in front of Vlad. But I don't know. I'm not seeing who the solution is in the 2-hole right now.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be quite a bit of an experiment too to see what they do here in that 2-hole. They're going to find somebody. I think you're right with Ernie Clement against lefties. I think it's going to be him there, but against righties, like it might be Jesús Sánchez. We haven't seen Dalton Varsho there yet. I think John Schneider kind of likes Barger in that 4-hole, hitting behind Vlad in there. Yes, he doesn't have a hit yet, but he almost had one. That sac fly he hit in game 2, I thought it was gone. So he too has been swinging a little wildly sometimes, chasing pitches out of the zone. That's something he can work at a little bit here, but you can see the swings. You can see the bat speed. I still like to see what I'm coming from Barger, but it'd be very interesting to see what he does in the 2-hole going forward in this Colorado series, because I think you're right. This is still a question to be decided here.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not the end of the world. I think though, like what I'm thinking is the Jays are going to be making a trade. I think they really believe in this team. I think if you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it? Like, I think like Arjun Amala, like, thank you for your service. Like, go get me a 2-hitter. Like, it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be Bo Bichette, but somebody along those lines I would love to see. I don't know. I don't know who the name is yet. Like, I'll look into it further. We'll check back in on this, but the 2-hole it's an unchecked box right now.
Yes, I agree. And I can't believe we've gone like 40 minutes in this episode. We haven't talked Vladimir Guerrero Jr. yet, but what have you seen from him in his first series so far?
Well, he looked like Vlad, very quiet, quiet 400 batting average. Like he picked up hits in all the games. He was on base. Was he on base multiple times in all 3? Like if not,
think so. I'd have to double check that.
Yeah, I have to double check that too. But like, just looked like himself. Not aircraft carrier yet, but of course not. It's March, and he's a long runway guy historically. So I'd like to see him get into a little bit of power soon, but getting the job done. Doing what he does best, putting together good at bats.
Does his batting stance look different to you? Because I think it does. I think he's more open. I could be wrong here, but
I haven't noticed. It's something I'm gonna have to check after this episode. but I'll keep an eye on it. I'll check back with you. But no, I have not noticed.
Okay, I can't put my finger exact on it, but it does seem like his stance is a little bit different. I'm curious. I might have to look more into that as well.
I might do a little swing breakdown video. Oh, I'm so busy. I'm in like my last 2 weeks of university. I'm graduating. Pull back the curtain a little bit. I'm graduating like in like 2 weeks. So I'm at the very end of it. So I haven't had the chance to make the videos, but that's going to be on my list. If Vlad's made a swing change, that's something I've got to break down.
Fantastic. It's important to finish your degrees, Owen. I support you doing that. We can only talk baseball for so long before life gets in the way.
Yeah. Okay. So that's something to see. I hope he hasn't changed his swing because he looked way too good to do that. But like hitters, man, hitters are always tinkerers. Vlad's a tinkerer. Vlad's gone through like what's this, his 7th, 8th season as Blue Jays, probably gone through like 16 different swings. So
probably, yes. He still does. You can still see his load is the same. He still puts his hands in the same spot, and he still explodes the way Vlad explodes. But I think his setup is a little different. We'll dive into that a little more. We'll keep tabs on it. And if you're watching at home, keep tabs on it and let us know what you see.
Yeah, I love that. Anybody else? Like who are we missing here? We got pretty close to the whole roster. Like at least the guys who played big roles.
Yeah, like Davis Schneider, Nathan Lucas. We didn't touch on them a lot. Ernie Clement did have a game-winning hit. His double in the 10th was hilarious to me. Had like an expected batting average of like 0.080, but it just happened to jump over the third baseman to get in there for a double. That's Ernie Clement for you, man. Like that's just what he does. He finds a way to do those. Good bat on ball skills. I wanted to talk. We don't really have time, but I'll just mention it that they intentionally walked Dalton Varsho to face Ernie Clement, and I understand righty on righty, but the Tigers did this last year. Ernie Clement made them pay, and they did it exactly again in this series. Like, if you need a strikeout, you're better off facing Dalton Varsho than Ernie Clement. I don't know how other managers haven't done that, so I think Oakland kind of misplayed their hand a little bit and helped the Blue Jays win that there.
Yeah, well, the Ernie Clement quote after the game was, "I love when they do that." I think he's what he said. Man, boyfriends everywhere hate Ernie Clement because I'm watching baseball with my girlfriend. She's scrolling, and or she hears Clement at the plate, and all of a sudden, like the baseball game is the most interesting thing in the room, and she loves to watch. I don't know, it might be those blue eyes or something, but
no, my girlfriend is in love with Dylan Cease, the big mullet, the big mustache.
Really?
It's like she is enamored to this. I mean, one, I'm excited she's getting into baseball too. It's like, fuck, I can't throw as hard as Dylan's. That's part of my language too. It's like I can't throw as hard as Dylan Cease, or I can't, throw 6 pitches in the zone for that. So, hey, our girlfriends are watching baseball with us. That's great. Even if this means we're gonna lose them to the Blue Jays.
Oh man, so I shook hands with Dylan Cease when I was in Florida, and let me tell you, you should be intimidated by him. That's a big man that throws really hard. You're right to feel that way because Dylan Cease is everything you wish you were as a human.
Okay, great, excellent. Maybe one day, Owen. Maybe one day.
Yeah, got a chance to keep growing here, but yeah, I think we did a good job. Do you want to do some checking in on the X's real quick?
Love that. We're talking about our girlfriends right now. Let's go look and see how our past flings have been going on here across the baseball world.
All right. Let me do it. Let me go first. So this one's a long-term relationship. Bo Bichette. And I don't want to like rub salt in wounds, kick people when they're down, however you want to say it. But Bo Bichette's 1 for 14 with 8 strikeouts as a New York Met. Jesse, it's not funny, but is it a little bit funny?
I mean, the fact that we're getting instant gratification that we chose Okamoto and we chose not to bring Bo Bichette back and to see him struggle. Feel good. I will say, though, Owen, as Blue Jays fans who have loved Bo Bichette for years, we want good things for Bo Bichette, right? So this kind of sucks, I guess, on that behalf. But to get that instant gratification of knowing that we might be right, that does feel good.
Yeah. I honestly... And you get better odds now, but I still think Bo Bichette probably has a better season, like F4 wise, than Okamoto. Probably hits as many homers. Like, I don't think it says anything about the big picture. It's just like fun with small sample sizes. Kind of funny to see Bo Bichette leave, and like I don't want to be a hater. I'm not a Bo Bichette hater. I never will be. I'm gonna hopefully be in the dome to give him a standing ovation when he comes back and gets his tribute video. Okay, all that aside, it's kind of funny to see the Jays just instantly, like you said, get that gratification that they chose right.
Mets fans are already booing Bo Bichette, by the way. The Boo Birds out for Bo. 3 games into their season already? So that's yikes. Yeah, man. Like New York can be ruthless. And the fact they're already turning on Bo Bichette, That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, you got to feel for him. I think I saw a quote from him after the game. He's like, "Yeah, I'm surprised it took him so long." Seems like he's taking it well. He's laughing about it, but lots of runway left for Bichette, and he's getting paid a lot of money to do it anyways. So,
and it could be one of those things we see it across sports all the time. Players' first year after getting a big contract, they kind of put pressure on themselves to live up to it. It could be something like that going on with Bo Bichette here. And hey, if he wants out, he has opt out. So, it's hard to feel too bad for him at this point.
Oh, I do not feel bad for Bo Bichette in any way, shape, or form. Sir Anthony Dominguez, 13.5 ERA, 2 appearances,
Ooh,
1 appearance.
yikes.
I don't even know, but
I think it's 2. He pitched today.
The Blue Jays, third most trusted reliever, 4th in the playoffs last season. Off to a bad start, blew a game in Milwaukee. White Sox going White Sox, right?
Yes, and we see them soon. The first road trip of the year takes us through Chicago to see the White Sox. So please, Sir Anthony Dominguez, don't figure it out too soon.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Because, White Sox next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chris Bassett. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Chris Bassett starts today, I believe, Thursday, whenever you are listening to this.
Monday.
He will have up there Monday. Okay, sure. So I like Chris Bassett. I hope you get crushed pitching for the Baltimore Orioles. And if we're really checking in on our X's, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 0 for 2 in his Red Sox debut, does have a strikeout in there. If you want to go really far back, Anthony Kay made his debut for the White Sox today, but that's going way back. And those are just
that's like elementary school girlfriend right there. Like we're not even checking that Instagram anymore.
You're not checking out the girl you got married to at the Sandbox Inn to see what she's doing nowadays. No,
no.
Okay,
not
fine.
Anymore. Maybe in high school,
your fun,
but no.
Anthony Kay. Okay, excellent.
AL East continues to be an absolute beast. Yankees swept the Giants, and Giants supposed to be a good team. Baltimore Orioles went 2-1. Red Sox lost a series to the Reds, which you just absolutely love to see. Tampa Bay lost their series to, oh my God, who are they playing? Anyways, they lost their series 2-1 as well.
St. Louis, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah. So, hate to see the Yankees successful, but.
Yes, that's what I was going to get at here. Jays are 3-0, which is good, but the Yankees are also 3-0, which is not good. And Yankees get the Dodgers, I believe, next. So I could be wrong about that. They stay on the West Coast. No, they get Seattle. They're going to Seattle next. So and then that'll be a good team for them. Well, the Jays should take advantage against the 0-3 Colorado Rockies, who gave up a game-winning home run to Owen Casey today. So there's that. The Jays should go well. To turn things kind of more back Blue Jays related, I have a couple hard hitting, I guess, fast things before we can move on to the end here.
Let's do it.
First of all, did you see that Leo Jimenez has been traded to the Marlins for Dub Gleed and international bonus cool money? Yeah. Does this mean anything to you?
Everyone's favorite Star Wars Cantina band character.
Yes.
Dub Gleed. A guy you've never heard of before. Guy you might never hear of again, even though he's going to probably play at double A or triple A for the Jays this season. He was
go ahead.
He was like a 3-year guy at college, no power, but good bat to ball guy. Walked a little bit, not much to be impressed about, but maybe a couple years from now he is Leo Jimenez, and the Jays have to trade him because there's not quite enough room on the roster for him, and he's out of options.
Sure. Did touch 4 levels with the Marlins system last year and did have an OBP just shy of 400, but that's really it that you're getting there from him. A few more things that I saw from the Rogers Center this weekend. First, Owen, how'd you like the opening ceremonies? It was very nice this year. They did things a little different. Nice added touch. What did you think?
Yeah, I'm not a crier, and it didn't make me cry. I thought I was going to get closer to tears than I did, but it was heartwarming. It was good. I think it was a good way to put a bow on 2025, and I think I liked how much it was about next year and moving forward. That's something you worry about, especially the fact that they did not win the World Series. If you win the World Series, take your victory lap, do it. 2026 doesn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it does, but it doesn't if you win the World Series. You didn't win the World Series, so 2026 matters a lot. And I think they did a great job talking about what's the slogan? Where will you be?
Yes.
I think they're doing a really good job. I don't love that the wild card banner's still up, but boomer take is I don't know. It's fine. I don't really care.
Yeah. Speaking of banner, I didn't really like that the Blue Jays, it didn't say AL champions. It said ALCS champions on the banner. Not a fan of that. Just we're champions of the American League. Make it say AL champions.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot better. I did like how George Springer and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did the countdown themselves. I thought that was very nice, having them get out there. I like that they had visual effects like on the diamond itself. It seemed like they had lights coming in from above Rogers Center shooting onto the actual diamond. That was really cool. I enjoyed seeing that, and that was something new. Plus, there's smoke coming out of the bullpen. Did you see this, Owen?
Yeah, the smoke pen, that's a little bit weird. I don't know. I don't know if I love that. If I was a reliever coming in and like all of a sudden they're blowing smoke on my head, I probably wouldn't love that. I don't know. Like, but whatever. Like if it's cool. They're doing a lot of like they're getting way more theatrical at the Rogers Center. It's a lot more like how much dopamine can we like smush into these fans' brains, which like me and you don't need that. But if it again, like if I go with my girlfriend and she's looking at the field more than she's looking at her phone because of it, hey man, that's awesome.
Yeah, this has Louis Varland written all over it. Like, this is like, how can I get myself pumped up a little more coming out of the bullpen is with the smoke machine coming out there.
Him coming out to like 3 days grace with the smoke machine. Yeah, you love to see
love
that.
3 days grace too, but it's absolutely phenomenal. Owen, first look at ABS this series. We had some good, some bad with it. What were your thoughts here?
So I'm on the record on this podcast, on Jason, our podcast, talking about how much I hated ABS. I've never been more wrong. It's awesome. And it's rocks that the Blue Jays catchers are just unreal at it. I think Alejandro Kirk, was he perfect? I might have got one wrong. Tyler Heineman was perfect, I believe. Like, they're really good at it. They're turning over pitches at big spots, like big pitches that actually matter. The hitters aren't just wasting them. Vlad wasted one, which who's surprised? But like, I think it's really cool. It's really cool to see how the crowd reacts. They're getting these huge reactions live, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down the game. They're getting the calls right. I love it.
Yeah, it adds an element of strategy to the game, which I absolutely love as a fan, a thinking baseball fan as I'm watching the game. You saw Vlad use it with nobody out in the bottom of the first and ultimately got it wrong, cost a challenge. He ended up walking. But you saw the A's in the first game of the series didn't use it at all to like the 8th inning. And there were several pitches in there they could have. At one point, Lawrence Butler like went to reach up to go touch his hat and then pulled it back down, almost like that was a word from Mark Kotze saying, no, we're not using it in this situation. So that is interesting to follow. Kazuma Okamoto too, leading off the bottom of the 9th when the Blue Jays were down by 1 just before Kirk hit the home run, took a fastball, was definitely outside. He chose not to challenge. And I wonder if that was a nerve thing. Very unfamiliar with the system so far. Maybe he's just too polite to want to disagree with the umpire or something. That was the time to use it that he probably should have. It worked out for the Blue Jays, but those are some interesting strategic observations that I've seen now from ABS, which I like.
Yeah, Okamoto just a little bit timid on it. I think I would have pulled the trigger. I had a tweet, and I was like, I'm going to concuss myself this season from tapping my head on the couch, telling hitters to challenge. Because that one, I had my hand going. I was like, do it, and didn't get it done. Obviously, didn't end up hurting the Jays, but yeah, it is what it is. I think my favorite thing about it is, and you kind of got to this a little bit when you're talking about the A's not challenging, they didn't take out catcher framing, which is good because that is something the Blue Jays are very good at. And like, it's a lot like Alejandro Kirk and Tyler Heineman bring a lot of value with the way they frame. And I'm glad to see it that it's not taking that element completely out of the game.
Yes, anything that helps the Blue Jays get better and win more games, absolutely all for here.
Yeah.
And that will do just that. 3 more things. These are much smaller. In the first game, Vlad got a baseball bat stuck up in the netting. And you saw this, didn't you? Early in the game?
Yeah.
Yes. So getting the fans up there to try to shake the bat up there. It was high. Like, it got really high up there. Didn't that happen at one point last year as well? If I remember correctly?
I think last year I wanted to say it was at the Trop. It might have happened at the Trop before, but it definitely wasn't the Trop because they weren't playing at the Trop last year.
Right.
But I believe last time it happened with Vlad was he fully let go of the bat and it sent flying. This one was a broken bat, which I thought was crazy because like, how does a broken bat get stuck? Like what? Like usually it would get caught on the knob, right? That's what I would think.
Very impressive. I just thought it was cool. Cool seeing baseball stuff happen every there. Apparently somebody flashed the Jumbotron. Now hide your kids. Apparently this is rumor going around that somebody was on the Jumbotron, took their shirt off. I didn't see it. They didn't show it on Sportsnet, but that was rumors going around. I knew some people that were at the game. So, hey, hopefully no.
Did they say that it happened?
The Blue Jays themselves didn't say it happened.
No, the people you know.
I had people in there that said they were going group chats of people who are at the game were there. So it happens. Hey, people are wild. A lot of beer probably being drank on that first night of the season. People excited and probably a little horny, I suppose, to be back at Blue Jays baseball games. So there is that. And the last note I have here, did you see the letter that NBA coach Steve Kerr wrote to John Schneider?
I saw that. Really cool. Really cool.
Yes,
Good for Steve Kerr. Seems to be a great guy. Yeah, like if you cross over to basketball at all, like what he's done and like the legacy he's built with the Golden State Warriors. And hey, after Steve Kerr lost that game 7, do you know what happened the next 2 seasons for the Golden State Warriors? NBA
they won the
championships.
title. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hey man, hopefully some of that Steve Kerr magic came north.
if you're looking for omens and good omens to start the Blue Jays season, we're getting them plenty going into this season. So I love that. Oh, and that's all I had. Hell of a series, man. Great way to start. 3 wins, 3-0, dramatic ones at that. The magic is still there. 2 comeback wins too, might I add, in this series for the 3 wins, which is just pure definition of how the Blue Jays did things last year. Seems like we're following the same script.
Yeah, the magic is still there. More of the same, please. Keep it rolling. Like start hot. You got a chance to bank some wins here. If we're looking ahead to the Rockies, like I believe you get like Sugano. The last game is Kyle Freeland, and I don't even remember who the second game is. Like you got a chance to bank some wins here. So go do it. Go score a bunch of runs. And you ready to get out of here?
I have one thought on the upcoming Rockies series as well. We don't get that Coors Field hangover effect that the Colorado Rockies usually have on the road because the Rockies haven't played at Coors Field yet. I don't know if it will matter because they just lost 3 games to the Marlins. They're not a good baseball team. The Blue Jays should win this series every time. But don't be surprised if maybe their bats hit a little bit more than you think they might going into this series.
Okay, interesting. So pitching matchups, just to put them like in stone, Scherzer against Feltner is that second game. Cody Ponce versus Sugano tonight when you're listening to this. That is Monday night. And then Kevin Gausman and Kyle Freeland to finish up that series. Listen, on paper, it should be 3 wins. Obviously, the games aren't played on paper, but we got this. I feel like the Jays are in a really good spot right now. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Jay Center podcast. Owen Hill, as always, joined by Jesse Burrell. Had a great time breaking down this awesome series. Make sure to leave this a like if you did like it. Comment helps us out. Subscribe and check us out on Twitter. My favorite thing about doing this is like getting to interact with people and like seeing what people have to say. And even if you disagree with me or Jesse, like let us hear about it. I'd love to hear that. And then check out Jay Center. Keep an eye out on YouTube. And one of the things Jesse and I talked about recently is maybe live streaming after a game. Next time we'll do one of these pods. We might do it live. So keep an eye out for that. And Jesse, thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, my friend. So happy to have Blue Jays baseball back. We've got a long season, 159 more to go. And I can't wait to watch every single pitch of it.
Awesome. Thank you.